Hey everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of Let Courage Be Your Guide, the podcast, a program where we challenge, reflect, and deconstruct the fears we face in the workplace or throughout our professional career, all while redefining what it means to be courageous. I am your host, Avery Jackman, and thank you for joining me. Welcome back. This week, we are going to be talking about the fear of being an imposter. Now, one of the more interesting things that went on throughout the pandemic were folks' determination to explore new hobbies to fill the time they would spend either commuting to work or being away from home. This included baking bread, starting a YouTube channel, opening their own business, or satisfying their inner child by sitting down to play video games. Speaking of video games, there were a few video games that swept the nation over the past 2 years. One game by the name of Among Us was everywhere and became a source of joy, stress relief, and fun for people of all ages. Children and adults would gather and create a group, playing as adorable monochromatic avatars to complete tasks, all while trying to reveal who among them is the imposter and secretly a threat to their survival. The interesting thing about this game is that the word imposter has signals to players that someone, despite being on the same playing field, is dishonest about their abilities and purpose. Sadly, as humans, we do the same thing, but to ourselves. We step into an environment or seek out opportunities that at one point excited us, but end up walking away from it because we feel that we would be a threat or our level of knowledge could be embarrassing. However, it's important to remember at any point in life, one must start as a beginner. Regardless of how much raw talent one possesses, to be a beginner is vulnerable and challenging and could be a bit embarrassing. In addition, just like the thick cement used as the foundation for towers, learning the foundations of any craft is imperative to building a career. The great thing is, once you start, you already have succeeded because your value and skill set has increased. For marginalized folk, our imposter syndrome lies in the fact that society has already placed limitations on our success. According to a BBC article entitled 100 Women, Why I Invented the Glass Ceiling phrase, Marilyn Loden speaks on why her coined the term, phrase, and metaphor, glass ceiling, is as relevant as it was over 40 years ago. Loden argues that the barriers to advancement that were cultural, not personal, was doing the bulk of the damage to women's careers, aspirations, and opportunities. This culture that she's referring to is the hegemonic Western standard that neglects the identities other than cis, hetero white men. So, for those outside that narrow box, the expectation to succeed is higher given that they are most likely the only marginalized individual in that space, placing the weight of being the only voice for their community on their shoulders, which, as you can imagine, can be emotionally exhausting. This can lead those under that pressure to experience self-doubt, being fearful of making a mistake, or feeling inadequate when receiving praise for their accomplishments. Imposter syndrome is not just personal. It's a cultural phenomenon embedded in white supremacy. However, I'm here to give you some tips and reminders on how you can live courageously and step into any space you desire and deserve to be in. Remind yourself of who you are. It's no coincidence you are interested in the environment you want it to be in. Your passions are pushing you toward it, so reflect and stand firm on your values and strengths. Ask yourself, what values guided me through the good times and not so good times? What am I the go-to person for? Once you feel affirmed, train your brain to do this even in moments when you don't feel afraid. Ask yourself, what healthy habits have I created in my mind? Am I searching for problems or opportunities? Create affirmations for those moments where you don't feel like you're good enough. A few of mine include, I am who I am, and I am a scarce commodity. So I'll leave you with this. The next time you feel like you don't belong or deserve to be in the room, remind yourself that the feeling of doubt is only a reminder that you are exactly where you need to be. Till next time, goodbye.